Hi guys, today I'm going to look at chords. Now these are the chords from this sort of period by John McLaughlin. And they're not just John McLaughlin chords, but he actually takes them and makes them into something unique and very personal in his sound. But you will hear these chords in other players like Pat Martino, or otherwise lots of pianists like Chick Corea, and you might think of them as slash chords or as fusion chords. But in this video, I'm going to sort of think of them as McLaughlin-esque chords because that's how they sort of resonate on the nylon string guitar. In the first part of this video, I'm just going to go through the most common slash chords or fusion chords. And in the second part of the video, I'm going to show how they're used in terms of like a 4-bar structure, a 2-5-1, a 3-6-2-5-1, or a blues turnaround. So in the second part, these will really be used as substitutions. Just before we start, if you haven't subscribed, then please smash that subscribe button and click that like button, because that really helps keep this channel going. A major triad on the guitar seems to always resonate extremely well, especially over a different bass note. So here we have an E-flat second inversion triad, and it's played over this E natural bass note. Now you might say, what scale or mode do I play over this? But in reality, when you see lots of these chords, these slash chords or fusion chords in a row, there's no time to think about scales. I mean, for this chord, you could think of diminished scale, but in this video, I'm looking at it in a much more extremely simplistic manner, because if there's a string of these, you need to be able to think quickly. So when I see this, I'm just going to play the E-flat triad or the E-flat arpeggio. And I can still elaborate on that arpeggio. I could maybe have, add some scalic notes. The next chord is a third inversion, dominant seventh, with the seventh in the bass. In this case, it's D over C. So again, you could just play the arpeggio over the top. Or you could play it as a dominant seventh. Or both. Or you could add some scalic notes. And again, it's easy to play over in that way, because you just play the triad, the arpeggio. In classical music, this would be 5-7-D to 1-B, or otherwise in popular music, D over C to G over B. But because it's fusion, you'll just get lots of these 5-7-Ds or third inversion dominant sevenths. So the next chord we will look at is B over C. So I'm just playing the B major, arpeggio landing on the note C. The next chord employs the tritone. So this is C over F sharp, with C second inversion triad over an F sharp in the bass. Once again, when I see the C, I'm just going to play a C arpeggio. That's simple. Now I might add the F sharp in as well. as another voicing, I'm going to do F sharp over G. And again, I'll just do the F sharp arpeggio. This time I'll do 2 octaves of the F sharp arpeggio and add the G. I include this voicing because this is one of John's that comes up quite often, and it's a really beautiful voicing and it resonates lovely on the guitar and it's nice to play off of. So I added this one in as well. The next chord is C over D, and probably the most well known. And you hear these chords played a lot, usually in succession or otherwise as a substitution for a dominant. So rather than G7, you might have F over G or F major 7 over G. But you will hear this a lot also. Again, on this C over D, just a C arpeggio. This next chord is a sort of variation because it's B minor 7 flat 5 over E, also as an F major 7 flat 5 over E, and B13 flat 5. But it's all sort of related within the similar sound. But I'm going to take it from the perspective of F major 7 flat 5 over E. Which is a beautiful sounding chord. In this regard, I'm going to play F major as the arpeggio, but because the E's in there and because it's easy to play, I'm going to play F major 7 over this. Also, I might just play D minor arpeggio, because it's there, it's just simple to play. And I might add the note B. Here I'm just adding the E to the 12th fret. So these are the most common chords, slash chords or fusion chords. There are variations on this, but these are the most commonly used ones and the best ones to start to actually make some musical structure out of. Okay, now let's add these chords to a chord sequence. The chord sequence will be 1, 6, 2, 5, 1. This is the first chord for chord 1, C major 7. Now you might want to think of this as C, 6 with a 9th, but I'm just playing the E, A, D and G to create this quartal sound. Obviously the C will be in the bass, with the bass guitar playing that. The next chord is A minor 7, and for this I'm playing our E flat over E. So the triad E flat being a flat 5 or tritone away from A minor, or from the note A, and the E in the bass being the 5th note of A minor. For D minor 7 I have C over F. Now you might want to think of this as D minor, a first inversion with a 9th and an 11th or 4th. For the dominant chord, I have the dominant note in the bass, G, and a triad, a D flat, a tritone away. Finally, resolving back to C, 6, 9. So as you can see, these chords do follow a logic. In this case, it's a 1, 6, 2, 5, 1. In this next bit of sequence, we will vary this. We'll start with a little riff of 6-1-6-1. This will be followed by 5-7-2, 5-7-5-7-1. So for chord 6 again, I've got this E flat over E. Then going to chord 1, which I've got B over C. So I will play a little vamp with it. This will then go into the chord sequence. So for chord 5, I have D flat over G, once again, and for chord 2, I've got E over D. You might want to think of this as D minor 7 flat 5 because we have the G sharp or A flat enharmonically in the chord. For chord 5, I've got B flat in the bass with a G triad in the treble. And this works like a sharpened ninth. But the note is in the bass, the sharpened ninth. Next we have our D flat over G once again. But we play it up here. Followed by C over A. Lastly, we will look at a blues structure and using these chords as the turnaround. What you'll find is that the first 4 bars will be a long sort of drawn out chord or a bit of a riff or a slight sort of melody. The second 4 bars going to chord 4 doing a similar thing. But when you get to the last 4 bars, there's a complete change in the harmonic rhythm. So everything starts to move quicker, and in the final 2 bars it moves even quicker still with 2 chords per bar. Okay, to begin with, I've got 4 bars of D6 with an 11th. So that's 4 bars, and I'll play a little bit of melody with that. Another 4 bars where I'll go up to chord 4 with the same thing. But the last 4 bars change. Then I have chord 2, so I've got A flat over E for 1 bar. For chord 5, I have E flat over D flat for 1 bar. And then there's 2 chords per bar, and the harmonic rhythm really shifts and moves forward. So now we have our 3-6-2-5 coming into play. So for chord 3, I've got F sharp over E. For chord 6, I've got F over F sharp. For chord 2, I have D over G. And for chord 5, I have E flat over A. Leading back to our tonic chord. Anyway, if this video was of any use to you, then please smash that subscribe button, because that really does build this channel and keep it going. Click the like button because that really helps with the algorithm and it helps me out a lot to get my videos promoted. Click the notification button if you like the video and write a comment if you want. And I'll see you all in the next video. And thank you for watching.